I'm Tom Hollingsworth from Gestalt IT.
I'm Nikhil Handigol, co-founder of Forward Networks.
Nikhil, it's a pleasure to see you here at Cisco Live, and Forward Networks has been doing a lot of stuff over the last few years. We were very excited to be able to get to talk to you about some of the neat stuff that you've got going on. But I've noticed recently that you're really talking about this concept of digital twins, and I wondered maybe you could kind of tell our audience a little bit, what is a digital twin?
Yeah, so digital twin, it turns out, is actually a very common technology that we all use. We use map applications on our phones like Google Maps. That's a digital twin of the world's roads. A digital twin is basically a software representation of something physical that's out there, but it captures the behavior of how that thing is working as a whole. So at Forward, we build a digital twin of the networks of the world's enterprises, which accurately captures how these networks are behaving end to end.
Sounds like it's a little bit more advanced than just a standard model, right?
Absolutely. So this is not just a simple map or a diagram of how things are interconnected. This is a behaviorally accurate model of how the entire network is behaving end to end. More specifically, it's we this digital twin that we create computes every possible path that any possible packet can take through the network. So it computes this information and indexes it and makes it accessible to the users, just like you can search how you can go from place A to place B on Google Maps.
Man, that sounds like a really interesting feature. I kind of wish I had that back when I was working on networks. How do you see digital twins helping network operations folks and even like security operations folks?
Yeah, so this digital twin that we have created is serving for our customers, serving as a single platform that supports multiple stakeholders in the enterprise. The network teams, so network operations and network engineering, the security teams, SecOps and InfoSec, the cloud teams, as well as the application teams. So everybody relies on this repository of data to perform the tasks that's their domain. For example, a simple example is network teams need to troubleshoot issues, connectivity issues all the time. So they come to the digital twin, ask a question, what's going on with this traffic? I see that A is not able to talk to B. Tell me what is going on with this traffic, and they get that answer instantly. Similarly, security operations, the task that they have to deal with routinely is incident management. And so if I have a host that is compromised, or if I believe this host is compromised, where else can the attacker go from there? So they can come to the Forward Digital Twin platform and do something called a blast radius analysis, and where the digital twin instantly gives them a comprehensive list of every single target asset that can be reached from a source asset that is potentially compromised.
So instead of trying to troubleshoot something in isolation and hoping that you have the right target, you have an entire view of everything in a virtual model, a virtual instance that you can then ask questions and try to figure out what might have happened or where I can go to find the answers to a particular problem.
Absolutely. So the status quo prior to Forward Networks was these people, our target users, network teams and security teams would effectively log into these devices hop by hop. They would run some commands, see the textual output that would be pretty verbose, one thing, and also in a format that was very vendor specific. And these environments are routinely multi-vendor. So they would have to take all this data, scrape all this data, put it all together in their head, and then figure out what was going on, which would take them days, sometimes months, sometimes forever. And that has completely changed for our customers, because now all they need to do is just come to the platform and ask the question that they want to and get that answer instantly, get an answer that is comprehensive and that is accurate.
Well, if you're talking about multi-vendor support, and you're talking about the fact that there's an overload of data and maybe I'm not sure how things are working, anyone out there who knows what I'm talking about is going to get to the fact that this is an automation problem that we have to solve every day, because I have to make things run consistently across a multiple different amount of platforms. And I want to make sure that everything works before I put it into production, because everyone knows of a horror story of an automation gone wrong. Can digital twins help me with automation?
Absolutely. And in fact, we have customers who routinely use Forward as the foundational system, the digital twin as the foundational system on top of which they build automation. And there are two reasons why a digital twin can be an accelerant for automation. One is data. So when you build automation systems, you need data to take action on. And the digital twin is that source of data that can be fed into these automation systems based on which they can take action. For example, if you build an automation platform that needs to provision firewall rules along a path of the traffic, you need to know what that traffic path is, where exactly this traffic would go in the network, and what are those firewalls that need to be provisioned so that this end-to-end flow can be enabled. And so forward then becomes that source of data that drives the automation, part one. Part two, I think this is equally important. Actually, I feel this is probably more important, is knowing that as a consequence of this automation, you've not broken something in the network. Right? How do you know that you're not leaving your network in a worse state than what you started with? Right? Because automation without validation or without verification is like a power tool without a guard. Right? You can just, it's just a faster way to break your network. Right? And a digital twin basically provides that safety net to make sure that you're not breaking your network, whether it's manually or through automation.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of people are worried about, is just the fact that a lot of things can go wrong really fast if you're not focused on it. Well, Nikhil, it's 2024, and I would be remiss if I didn't bring up that I believe this is the year of AI again. And I know a lot of companies are starting to put AI in their products, but it kind of feels like there's not really a concrete example of how they're using the AI. But I heard that Forward Networks has some AI in your product now.
Yeah, so we just recently launched our first generative AI powered feature within the Forward platform. It's called AI Assist, and we are super excited about it because this is just going to have that multiplicative effect of the effect that our platform was already having.
So what does AI Assist do for people?
Yeah, so before I explain what AI Assist is, I'll talk about a very powerful feature within the product called Network Query Engine. So we have this very powerful feature called Network Query Engine, or NQE for short. And this is basically the digital twin platform that we have collects a lot of data from the networks, configuration and state. And we parse and normalize this data, and via this NQE feature, we expose this data directly to our users, network teams, security teams, compliance and audit teams, via a query language. So these teams can now query their network as if they're querying a database. So NQE has been out with our customers for 4+ years. We actually launched it at a networking field day, and it's been very, very successful. Our customers absolutely love it because, again, before NQE, the world was the users would log into these devices individually, run some commands, extract those textual outputs, parse it, put it all together in their heads or using some scripts. It's a task that would take them days, weeks, months, and so on. And NQE changed that completely because now they could just write a simple query, very similar to a SQL query, and query the network like a database. Now we have just introduced AI Assist. AI Assist is basically a natural language interface to NQE. So now the users don't even need to write this SQL-like query. They can just type out in plain natural language, in plain English, what they want from the network, and AI Assist produces that NQE query, which they can then execute on the network to extract the data. So we have made, with AI Assist, our goal is to make NQE even more accessible to a much wider audience.
And it sounds like because the AI Assist feature is working off of this digital twin of your network, that it not only has complete visibility about what's going on, but it's not going to be encouraged to give wrong information based on something else that might live outside of your network, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you've used ChatGPT or any generative AI-based features, I think one of the big concerns with generative AI is hallucination, right? So where AI is being creative or making up answers. So I think one of the fundamental problems, like this is going to be very, very important for our field of networking and security, is how do you trust the answer that an AI-based system is giving you? I think without that fundamental way to have trust in this AI-based systems, these AI-based systems are just going to be fancy demos at best. They're not going to be practical. So this is why we strongly believe that the digital twin technology is going to be a key enabler for AI in networking and security, because two reasons. One is, again, the data portion that I mentioned. AI systems are going to be only as good as the data that they're based on, and digital twins are repositories of some of the most unique data in networking. So be it configuration or state or all the analyzed data, all the parts that we compute. So data is one key aspect. The other key aspect is trust, right? If digital twins provide a means to validate, to verify the answers that are given by AI-based systems, so that you can trust those answers and actually make AI practical and plausible.
And I think one of the important things that you underscored there is that AI is only as good as the data set that it's operating on. You have to know that the data that you have is good. And that's one thing that Forward has always been known for is, they do an exhaustive job of getting all the information as possible. And now what you're doing is you're taking the powerful features you've already developed and creating an interface that allows people to interact with them much easier so that they can rely on the data that they're getting back to solve challenges before they become full-blown problems.
Absolutely. I think we've always maintained that data is the key. Having access to unique data, having access to comprehensive data, having access to end-to-end data, that is going to be the key enabler for everything that we build on top, whether it's automation, whether it's AI, or whether it's something else, right? And so we see ourselves as an enabler for all of these technologies on top.
Well, with a solid platform like Forward Networks running underneath this, I'm sure that you have some brilliant ideas about some things that you can do with AI. What are some of the things we might be able to look forward to in the future?
Yeah, so AI Assist in its current form is just the start. So we've just started with natural language interface to NQE. So one big area of focus for us is going to be natural language interface to other features of the product. So in general, interacting with the product as a whole with a natural language interface, like that's going to be one area of focus. Other areas of focus are going to be, again, in terms of providing insights proactively. So imagine you're working on a ticket and this AI-based system, based on the digital twins knowledge, comes in and proactively provides insights so that the operator who is responsible for resolving the ticket has a head start, has all the context necessary to go ahead and fix the problem. That's another example. A third category that we are excited about is about making change suggestions. So when the digital twin already knows how the network is behaving, so we can use that knowledge coupled with AI, we can use that information to suggest changes to optimize the network or get the network into a better state. Again, this goes hand in hand with the trust/verification component. So that's another big area of focus. So again, we are working on multiple of these tracks in parallel. So we're super excited about what AI holds for us in the future.
All right. Well, Nikhil, it sounds like there's a lot of really interesting stuff that Forward Networks is working on. But if people want to learn a little bit more and maybe dig into some of the documentation, where can they go to find that out?
Forwardnetworks.com.
That's a great answer. And I'll tell you that Forward Networks is going to be participating in Networking Field Day 34 coming up February 28th and 29th. You know all of the great content that Tech Field Day is famous for, where it comes to having practitioners in the room, asking the right questions and digging into the technology. So we're going to be producing some great video from that event that you'll be able to check out on our website at techfieldday.com, as well as on our YouTube channel. Just look for youtube.com/techfieldday. You can also check out gestaltit.com for more great articles about some of the cool things that Forward Networks is presenting here at Cisco Live EMEA, but also during Networking Field Day. We hope that you'll tune in, and please make sure you go check out forwardnetworks.com for more great information.